I am going to show you how to blend two images together in Adobe Express. And you can't get perfect results, but if you open up Photoshop, you can get a lot better results. See how there's a nice smooth transition here on the edge, whereas here it's kind of harsh. So really what this comes down to is working with transparency. And so I'm going to go to opacity and drop down the opacity of my image on the left. And what you're trying to do is kind of control that gradient feather edge transition. And you can't really get a bunch of control in Adobe Express, but if you go to Photoshop, or if you use Photoshop, and you can get a nice, more gradual, greater distance transition. So I have my page background set to none so I can see the checkerboard. And the second page I did in Photoshop online here. And so I'll show you how I did it. If you have Adobe Express, you might have Photoshop access, Photoshop Online, which lets you get some pretty great results. So let's make a new Adobe Express document with the purple plus button. I'm going to do 16 by 9 and drag in any image, kind of like a person image. And I'll link this image up, but you can use any image. And then let's say we want this person to kind of be thinking about a vineyard. So I'm going to go to Media, Photos, get my vineyard photo, and drag in this. Click to make this image come in, position it top left, drag it out. Okay, so what we want to do with Adobe Express is erase. So I'm going to grab my erase tool and go from quick select to circle brush. Unfortunately, the size only goes up to 200. I don't know, can you do 300 tab? No, yeah, it goes back to 200. So you want the hardness to 0, lowest possible, opacity 100, and then with the top image targeted, you can start erasing and you basically get some transparency there. So if I were to hit done and go to my original image, and again, I didn't do the page set background color to none. You see, you get, if I zoom in, you get a little kind of that transition from transparent to opaque. So the original image to nothing. All right, so Command 0. Let's keep painting away. Go back to erase, get the brush, same circle brush. Let me do cancel because I want to re-opacity up to 100% my original image. And then I can target the image I'm erasing and just kind of work my way across the image until I get some kind of, maybe, I don't know, if you want to be creative, you can't go too far. You can get a, I don't know, some kind of effect. All right, so that's the best results I could get with Adobe Express, but if you got Express, you can come in to, hit down to get out of the brush. You can probably come in here to Photoshop by clicking on the Adobe Express homepage, clicking on this little checkerboard apps, coming over and then opening up Photoshop, maybe command clicking so it opens in a new tab. Yeah. Okay, so I have that vineyard photo downloaded. If I do open in new tab, I can go back to Adobe Express and get it. Okay, so here's the one I'm working on right now, most recent file. And add a page, same size, grab this vineyard photo, Command C, Command V, paste it in, set it as the background, get rid of my erasing, reset. All right, then I can download this image, JPEG or PNG, And now finally drop it into Photoshop. So upload file on the left, and let's see what it gives me. So, okay, we're gonna use the paintbrush tool, and we are going to use the layers, and we're gonna add a layer mask. A white layer mask does nothing, but if we start to paint with black, we'll get some results. We could try the gradient tool, a white to black gradient, and kind of dragging like this. So that starts to introduce some transparency. The farther we drag, the longer the gradient. So that's an easy way to get some quick results. But if you want to try brushing, I'm going to hit Command Z twice to undo those changes. Basically, we're trying to get black in this layer mask, and that creates the transparent pixels. So if I move over in the image, get a brush, I think I used about 1,000 pixel wide brush, and make sure hardness is set to 0. And then I can maybe hit Command minus to zoom out, and I can just erase to add some transparency, and maybe try to even it out of here. All right, so when you see the checkerboard background, it's kind of faint, but it's there, right? See the checkerboard. Then download your image. So I just think you get way more control. Give it a name. Hopefully it shows up down here. Saving document. There it came. All right, so now we can put this, we can delete our image, use this image. And again, really you're working with transparency, that checkerboard. So if you want to make sure that white background color is set to none, then you can see you do in fact have a transparent gradient, a fade, feather, and you can grab your original image, Command C, copy it, and Command V, paste it in, Command left bracket to send it to the back, and then just reposition, resize if you want to make it look a little, it will, I guess it just goes to white. No, it goes to transparent. Yeah, see, you want to avoid that hard edge. All right. So that is how I recommend, not blending, right? Blending is more opacity blend, but we're really creating a transparency or opacity transition or gradient from opaque to transparent.